Hi everyone, this is Toledo. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today's video is all about the old Spanish city of Toledo, and we're going to be spending some time exploring and of course doing some photography. If you're new to my channel and you like this video, please consider hitting subscribe, and if you're not new to my channel and you enjoy this video and you're not a subscriber, then also please consider hitting subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, then of course thank you very much, I appreciate your support. Okay, so we are in the city of Toledo, or more accurately right now we are on the terrace of our hotel room on the outskirts of Toledo. Toledo is an old Spanish city. It's built on a steep rocky hillside. It's bordered on three sides by the river Tegra, and the city, its architecture, everything about it has been shaped by multiple cultures, including the Romans, the Visigoths, the Jewish culture, the Muslim or Moorish culture, and of course the Christian culture. And Toledo is known as a place where multiple cultures have lived peacefully together. It's located in Castilla La Mancha, and it's the first stop on a very short tour of a couple of locations within that Castilla La Mancha region. We're in Toledo for 2 days, so we're going to try and pack in as much as we can. So just to give you an idea of what's going to happen, today is going to be about exploring. We're going to go into the city, we're going to walk around, see some of the sights, I'll shoot some video. As I said, we're going to explore, but I'm also going to be looking for potential places to do some proper photography, which will be tomorrow. This evening we're actually going to go out and have a nice meal somewhere because it's our wedding anniversary and we want to celebrate. Tomorrow I'm going to start off with an early morning shoot, not sure where yet, that will depend upon what we find when we start looking around. And probably tomorrow there'll be some more exploring, and then tomorrow evening I will shoot the sunset scene. Again, not sure where yet, it will depend on what we find, and that will then wrap up the Toledo video. But the Castilla La Mancha trip continues, because then the following day we're going on to another location, which is a location linked to a very famous piece of Spanish literature. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. Let's head out and see what we can find. Hi everyone, so I'm out at a location that I scouted out on our explorations yesterday. I'm actually standing on the pavement on a road bridge that goes across the river. So I'm going to have to keep the traffic noise in mind as I'm doing this. basically the shot I've got set up is looking down the river. It's a really simple setup. We've got the old city of Toledo on the right hand side of the frame, and the big building up there, which is the Alcazar. And then over on the left hand side of the frame we've got one of the old bridges, the name of which I can't remember, but I'll put it here now. I think it's something like Puente de Alcantara, but I'll put the name up here now anyway. And the whole lot's reflecting. It's still half an hour before sunrise, so we're definitely in a blue hour shooting situation here. There is nothing in the way of clouds, so what I'm going to do is grab a blue hour shot now, and then I'm going to hang on until we get closer to sunrise and see what happens with things lighting up. I was actually hoping that some of the buildings might be floodlit, but I know from viewing them from a distance last night that they're not. So the only lights on the scene are kind of street lights. But nevertheless, I've got 16 to 35 lens on, 35mm. At the moment I'm shooting at f8, 30 seconds at ISO 64, and I'm just focused on the buildings, which is basically infinity. That's the blue hour shot done. That looks really nice actually. Yeah, I like that. Now it's just a case of waiting until the sun comes up in about just over 25 minutes. Get a little bit of light on the buildings and see what that does. But I'm happy I've got one nice shot. Okay, I've kind of rushed through getting that blue hour shot before I lost the dark blue tones in the sky. But let me just talk you through a little bit more about the composition. Basically, the image is vertically centered, so the line between the actual subject and the reflections in the water is right the way across the middle of the frame. There's no foreground interest because I'm basically standing on a bridge overlooking a river. But what I have got is the reflection lines coming in from the lower right and lower left hand side of the frame. They come in, they kind of pull the eye in, and then over on the left hand third, but in the middle of the frame, we've actually got the arch of the bridge and its reflection, and then that kind of pulls the eye up and across, and we've got the big impressive building and the old city up on the right hand side, and of course its reflections are underneath it. I think it works. Still got about 10 minutes until sunrise, which is going to be over behind me, but there's definitely some light and colour in the sky over that way. There's just a hint of some very, very fine detail in the sky. So I've popped in 2-stop soft-edged ND grad, which hopefully will just help to balance the exposure a little bit and maybe just let me pull out a little tiny bit of detail there. It's not going to be a lot, but it might just make all the difference if it lights up. I can just see it particularly up around the building. But obviously I'm still waiting for a bit more light to hit the scene. If anything, we're standing around in one place waiting, even though it's normally been pretty warm. It actually feels a bit chilly right now, so need to put some sleeves on. Still got shorts on though. So we're at official sunrise now, but I'm waiting for it. It's got to kind of clear. So I guess some hills and that over in the background, so it might be another few minutes. There's no light yet hitting the buildings, and I'm hoping that what we don't get is an increase in the sort of breeze and the ripples in the water before the sun hits the buildings, because it does look as if the water is starting to just sort of shimmer a bit more, which will obviously kill the reflections. Fingers crossed. Okay, so we're now about 11 minutes after sunrise. The direct sunlight over here is blocked by some trees, but the light is sitting on the old city and it's looking really nice. I've dropped my ISO down to the low 1 setting, just basically to keep my exposure time a little bit longer, because there's quite a lot of ripples starting to form in the water now. Not helped by the duck going across the middle of the scene. And I think I'll hang on probably for another 5 or 6 minutes. Then it'll be time to pack up and head back to the hotel. Okay, that's it. The sun's just starting to lose the softness now. The light's starting to get a bit harsher. So I think I'm done. Plus this road's getting a lot busier now, so it's harder to film as well. So I'm going to pack up, head back to the hotel. Some more exploring today, and hopefully the sunset shoot tonight. Hi everyone, so it's an hour before sunset and I'm up on the road that overlooks the river on one side of the city of Toledo, and I'm on the lookout for the best spot to set up and get a shot, hopefully as the sun's coming down. Let's see what we can find. Okay, so I found a spot and I've got set up. It's actually one of the kind of official viewpoints here. So it's overlooking a slope that goes down to the river, and then of course on the other side of the river we've got the old city. We're still about 50 minutes before sunset, so there's a bit of time to wait. So as sunset approached, the pressure was on a little bit. This was my only opportunity to do a sunset shoot here on this trip, and it certainly looked as if nature was playing its part and we could have something pretty special in terms of the sky and the light. I had got a composition set up. It was a safe composition. It would have made a nice image, but it wasn't really what I wanted to shoot. The problem is that the image that I really wanted was risky. Timing would have to be spot on. Exposure was going to be really difficult, and I wouldn't know if it had succeeded until much later, until I got it back onto the computer. I ran the risk of not coming away with an image at all, but in the end I decided I had to go for it. The sun is almost gone, so we are losing now all light on the scene, but there's some quite nice clouds and that could mean we get some quite nice colours, so I'm going to see if we can get a panorama. Okay, so to get the panorama I've gone to a vertical format. I've levelled my tripod. I've also extended the centre column a bit so that when I get round to the far right I can avoid having the wall here creeping into the bottom of the frame. It's going to be probably something about 12 shots I think, so let's see what happens. Okay, so that's it. The colours have faded. The lights are coming on in the town, but it's only the cathedral tower that's lit up, so it's a shame. It'd be nicer if they floodlit some of those big buildings. Nevertheless, it's been a beautiful sunset, and I hope I've got a couple of nice images from it. And this concludes the Toledo video. But in my next video, I'm still going to be on this trip, and we're moving on to a new location. A place that's linked very strongly to a famous piece of Spanish literature. So I look forward to seeing you on the next video. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, then please consider giving it a like or a share, or both. And of course, if you're not already a subscriber, then please consider hitting subscribe. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, so thank you very much, and until the next video, bye.